Hi there, hope you're having a good day and welcome back to another video. This one is more so on the negative side of things, and today I want to talk about 5 Nike basketball shoes that you should avoid buying. Now let me clarify, I don't mean that all of these shoes have bad performance, not at all, but for people with certain playing styles or foot shapes, some of these 5 Nike or Jordan brand shoes that I listed simply may not work. So I think it's more important that I explain why you should avoid them or who should avoid playing in them. Let's get started. I think it's safe to say that Nike is still the go-to brand for many of us, whether you're a fan of the swoosh or not. They offer a great variety of performance sneakers, from signature shoes to budget options, and also their powerful marketing campaigns and athlete sponsorships. They recently added Ja Morant and Jason Tatum as their signature athletes. I'm actually really excited for the shoes of those two. Anyways, for our first shoe to avoid buying, let's go with a budget shoe, also part of a signature line, the Giannis Immortality 2. This is a very budget-friendly Giannis shoe below the Zoom Freak line at $85 US. And I actually liked playing in the first Immortalities. However, the fit became worse and the previous version was already on the narrower side to begin with. This time, the midfoot area got tighter and it was just not a comfortable shoe on feet. For me, as someone with slightly wider feet and very flat feet, I had soreness to a point where I just couldn't continue playing in that shoe. And this is given that I went true to size with both versions of the Immortality. So even if you're interested in these, buy the first version. You might be able to find a much better deal too anyways, and the Immortality 2 was just a bad fit. Also, they did not improve the upper materials, which I heard a lot of people experience problems with. Mine didn't break apart or anything, but there was also no changes made in that regard. Next one up, this might be a little controversial, but I want to talk about which players should avoid the KD15, and that is our fellow white-footers. The KD15 is a very narrow and snug fit. I had major discomfort around the outer side of my left foot, and it was just a long and slow break-in time. So if you have really wide feet, the KD15 is a no-go. Also, the overall comfort level was pretty disappointing to me. I would consider them to be a stiff shoe. Like, even though the responsiveness is there, softness is lacking for sure. Not much heel compression at all. If you're someone like me who is a big sucker for good cushioning nowadays, the KD15 might not be worth its full retail price for you. I do have to say that the traction on the KD15 is amazing though, just like the KD14, so that's a good thing. The third shoe on this do not buy list, unlike the first two, I think these guys actually have great cushioning, but again, fit was an issue, and that is the Cosmic Unity 2. Traction and cushioning, the Cosmic Unity 2 gets the job done with no problem, but this shoe was just a tough fit. So my true size is 10.5 in Nike sneakers. I was able to try them out in store first, and I decided to go up half size to an 11. But honestly, even with the half size up, I still felt like this shoe was too tight. Now, unlike the KDs and Giannis Immortality 2, where the shoes are too narrow, the Cosmic Unity 2 is like tightness by pressing down on your feet too much around the midfoot area. But at the same time, the materials aren't flexible enough to offset that with better support and breathability. And what's worse is that if you size up, length might become a problem and you might experience some heel slippage like a lot of people did with the KD15s. So I'm not saying that it's 100% a no-go, but at least keep that in mind when you consider them. Number 4, most recent release, a big one too, the Air Jordan 37. Nike, Jordan brand, we're not going to differentiate them here. And in my previous video on the Jordan 37, I mentioned how I really didn't like how cheap and plasticky the materials are. But let's put that little weave upper aside, because it can be subjective and based on personal preference. One thing that I started to notice a little bit more is an inner foot pain after extended runs in these. I specifically felt that on the inner side of my left foot, closer to the heel. And I should point out that my left foot is slightly bigger than my right foot, to give you a reference. It kind of feels like the upper materials are rubbing against my bone in an uncomfortable way. And the Jordan 37 simply does not provide any good padding around the collar or ankle area. So given the soreness that I'm starting to notice more, and also the retail price that's hard to justify given the material quality, I think you can pass on the Jordan 37. Nothing to regret about. The last Nike shoe that I want to talk about is from much earlier, and I've talked about it quite a few times before, so I'll make it short, the LeBron 19. Practically unusable in my opinion. Way too heavy, the plastic piece flaps around your ankle and serves no functionality. Stability is not even good, and traction is also pretty bad. I am really excited to test out the LeBron 20 soon, and it's obviously a complete change up, which can only be a good thing. So that concludes this list for the 5 Nike basketball shoes that you should avoid buying. These are more so the recent releases, and as you can see, my two main concerns are the fit and comfort level with most of these guys. If you can't find the right size for your foot shape in that shoe, or if you experience soreness and end up having foot pains after playing in them, I think it offsets any benefit they can have. Whether we're talking full-length Zoom Strobel, double-stack Zoom Air, Leno Weave, or all that good stuff from Nike. If you had a different experience with any of them, or if you simply disagree with me on any point that I made, please feel free to correct me or let me know in the comments. I'm always reading every single comment, and quite honestly, I do learn a lot from your comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.